In this video we will learn about role of SEBI. Introduction to regulate the Indian stock market and protect investors from trading malpractices like price ragging and insider trading, etc. The Government of India established the Security Exchange Board of India, SEBI, on the 11th of April 1988. It has its headquarters in Mumbai and it has its regional office in New Delhi, Ahmedabad, Chennai, and Kolkata. A total of 17 stock exchanges are currently operating in India, including NSE, National Stock Exchange, and BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange. All their stock exchanges are operated and regulated by SEBI. SEBI was enacted by the Parliament of India on the 4th of April 1992, and it extends to the whole of India. It was commenced and became an autonomous body of Government of India on the 30th of April 1992. Functions of SEBI. Protective functions: prohibit securities markets related fraudulent and unfair trade practices, prohibit insider trading in securities, issue directions to protect the interests of investors, intermediaries, fair trade, and balance of trade. Development functions: promote investors' education and training of intermediaries of securities markets, promoting and regulate self-regulatory organizations. Regulatory functions: regulate the business in stock exchanges and any other securities markets, register and regulate the working of the depositories, participants, custodians of securities, foreign institutional investors, credit rating agencies and other intermediaries. Register and regulate the working of venture capital funds, mutual funds, and other schemes regulating substantial acquisition of shares and takeover of companies. Raise requests for information, inspection, conducting inquiries and audits. Objective of SEBI. 1. Regulation of stock exchanges. The first objective of SEBI is to regulate stock exchanges so that efficient services may be provided to all the parties operating there. 2. Protection to the investors. The capital market is meaningless in the absence of the investors. Therefore, it is important to protect the interests of the investors. The protection of the interests of the investors means protecting them from the wrong information given by the companies in their prospectus, reducing the risk of delivery and payment, etc. Hence, the foremost objective of the SEBI is to provide security to the investors. 3. Checking the insider trading. Insider trading means the buying and selling of securities by those people's directors, promoters, etc., who have some secret information about the company and who wish to take advantage of this secret information. This hurts the interests of the general investors. It was very essential to check this tendency. Many steps have been taken to check inside trading through the medium of the SEBI. 4. Control over brokers. It is important to keep an eye on the activities of the brokers and other middlemen in order to control the capital market. To have a control over them, it was necessary to establish the SEBI. How does SEBI regulate the stock market? The Indian capital markets are efficiently regulated and tracked by the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, the Reserve Bank of India, and the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance operates via the Department of Economic Affairs, Capital Markets Division. The role of the division is to formulate policies for organized policy development of securities markets. In particular, the division works to safeguard the interests of traders and investors trading in the stock market of India. SEBI regulations. The Capital Markets Division of the Department of Economic Affairs sees to the administration of rules made within the bounds of the Securities and Exchange Board of India Act of 1992. This is the act that established the Securities and Exchange Board of India, or SEBI, the main authorized regulatory body that regulates Indian stock exchanges. The key function of SEBI is to keep the interest of investors, traders protected. Here we can see SEBI's role. Relay trading in the Indian stock market. Investors and traders have to execute trades while abiding by rules. This is to promote fairness. SEBI's role is to carry out functions that meet with the tenets of SEBI regulations, and these functions include the following. SEBI regulates capital markets through certain measures it takes. Protects the interests of traders and investors, thereby promoting fairness in the stock exchange. SEBI regulates how the security markets and stock exchanges function. SEBI regulates how transfer agents, stock brokers and merchant bankers, etc., function. SEBI handles the registration activity of new brokers, financial advisors, etc. SEBI encourages the formation of self-regulatory organizations. SEBI promotes investor learning opportunities. SEBI makes rules to prevent malpractice. SEBI manages and controls a complaints division. The decisions of SEBI. The Indian stock market would be a hapless place without the regulations enforced by SEBI. With this in view, SEBI has been responsible for taking several steps to ensure the seamless operation of stock markets in India. Determination of stock pricing. In a recent SEBI announcement, all companies listed have been given permission to decide their own share prices, plus a premium over and above this. No insider trading. One of the main loopholes in the capital markets of India was insider trading. SEBI has abolished this practice, which gives certain traders unfair advantages over others. Regulation of mutual funds. SEBI regulates control over mutual funds, both of the government and private sector. The role of SEBI in investor protection. SEBI has given out various methods and measures to ensure the investor protection from time to time. It has published various directives, driven many investor awareness programs, set up Investor Protection Fund (IPF) to compensate the investors. We will look into the investor protection measures by SEBI in detail. To begin with, SEBI constructs the limit of financial backers through instruction and attention to empower a financial backer to take educated choices. SEBI tries to guarantee that the financial backer gets the hang of contributing. In simpler words, SEBI ensures that the investor gets and utilizes data needed for contributing and assesses different speculation alternatives to suit his particular objectives. It helps the investor find out his privileges and commitments in a specific venture, bargains through enlisted mediators, plays it safe, looks for help if there should be an occurrence of any complaint, and so on. SEBI has been putting together financial backer schooling and mindfulness workshops through financial backer affiliations and market members, and has been urging market members to sort out comparable projects. It keeps a refreshed, far-reaching site for training of financial backers. It distributes different sorts of alerts through media. It reacts to the questions of financial backers through phone, messages, letters, and face-to-face for the individuals who visit SEBI office. Intermediaries associated with the securities markets. Primary market intermediaries. Merchant bankers play an important role in issue management process. Lead managers, Category I merchant bankers, have to ensure correctness of the information furnished in the offer document. They have to ensure compliance with SEBI rules and regulations as also guidelines for disclosures and investor protection. To this effect, they are required to submit to SEBI a due diligence certificate confirming that the disclosures made in the draft prospectus or letter of offer are true, fair and adequate to enable the prospective investors to make a well-informed investment decision. The role of merchant bankers in performing their due diligence functions has become even more important with the strengthening of disclosure requirements and with SEBI giving up the vetting of prospectuses. SEBI's various operational guidelines issued during the year to merchant bankers primarily addressed the need to enhance the standard of disclosures. It was felt that a further strengthening of the criteria for registration of merchant bankers was necessary, primarily through an increase in the net worth requirements, so that their capital would be commensurate with the level of activities undertaken by them. With this in view, the net worth requirement for Category I merchant bankers was raised in 1995-96 to 5 crore rupees. In 1996-97, the SEBI, Merchant Bankers, Regulations, 1992 were amended to require the payment of fees for each letter of offer or draft prospectus that is filed with SEBI. Part 3 gives further details of the registration of merchant bankers during 1996-97. Underwriters are required to register with SEBI in terms of the SEBI, Underwriters, Rules and Regulations, 1993. In addition to underwriters registered with SEBI in terms of these regulations, all registered merchant bankers in categories I, II and III and stockbrokers and mutual funds registered with SEBI can function as underwriters. Part 3 gives further details of registration of underwriters. In 1996-97, the SEBI Underwriters Regulations 1993 were amended mainly pertaining to some procedural matters. Bankers to an issue scheduled banks acting as bankers to an issue are required to be registered with SEBI in terms of the SEBI Bankers to the Issue Rules and Regulations 1994. These regulations lay down eligibility criteria for bankers to an issue and require registrants to meet periodic reporting requirements. Part 3 gives further details of registration of bankers to an issue. Portfolio managers are required to register with SEBI in terms of the SEBI Portfolio Managers Rules and Regulations 1993. The registered portfolio managers exclusively carry on portfolio management activities. In addition, all merchant bankers in categories I and II can act as portfolio managers with prior permission from SEBI. Part 3 gives further details of the registration of portfolio managers. Debenture trustees are registered with SEBI in terms of the SEBI Debenture Trustees Rules and Regulations 1993. Since 1995-96, SEBI has been monitoring the working of debenture trustees by calling for details regarding compliance by issuers of the terms of the debenture trust deed, creation of security, payment of interest, redemption of debentures and redressal of complaints of debenture holders regarding non-receipt of interest, redemption proceeds on due dates. Part 3 gives further details of the registration of debenture trustees. Registrars to an issue and share transfer agents. Registrars to an issue, RTI, and share transfer agents, STA, are registered with SEBI in terms of the SEBI Registrar to the Issue and Share Transfer Agent Rules and Regulations 1993. Under these regulations, registration commenced in 1993-94 and is granted under two categories. Category I, to act as both registrar to the issue and share transfer agent, and Category II, to act as either registrar to an issue or share transfer agent. With the setting up of the depository and the expansion of the network of depositories, the traditional work of registrars is likely to undergo a change. Secondary market intermediaries. Stockbrokers. All stockbrokers dealing in securities are registered with SEBI in terms of SEBI Stockbrokers and Sub-Brokers Regulation 1992. During 1996-97, 391 additional brokers were registered with SEBI, making the total registered membership to 8,867 as on March 31, 1997. Sub-brokers. In many cases, individual investors transact in securities through sub-brokers. It is therefore absolutely imperative to regulate this class of intermediary. As on March 31, 1997, only 1,798 sub-brokers were registered with SEBI. The main reason for the limited success in registering large number of sub-brokers is that brokers are reluctant to take responsibility of the acts of the sub-brokers. Measures initiated by SEBI for bringing sub-brokers more fully under the ambit of regulatory oversight have been described earlier in this report. Key achievements and challenges. 1. Successful initiatives and reforms. Dematerialization of securities. SEBI played a pivotal role in the dematerialization of securities, which eliminated the need for physical certificates and significantly reduced fraud and inefficiencies in the market. Introduction of electronic trading. SEBI introduced electronic trading platforms, which enhanced market transparency, reduced transaction costs, and enabled faster trade execution. Establishment of investor protection funds. SEBI established investor protection funds to safeguard investor interests in case of default by market intermediaries. These funds provide compensation to investors in the event of financial losses due to intermediary misconduct. 2. Current and future challenges. Adapting to rapid technological advancements. SEBI must constantly adapt its regulatory framework to keep pace with the rapid technological advancements in the financial markets. This includes addressing challenges posed by algorithmic trading, high-frequency trading, and fintech innovations. Addressing the rise in cybersecurity threats as financial markets become increasingly digital, SEBI must focus on strengthening its cybersecurity framework to protect market participants from cyber threats and safeguard the integrity of the market infrastructure. Balancing market development with investor protection, SEBI must strike the right balance between promoting market development and ensuring investor protection. While innovation and market growth are essential, SEBI must remain vigilant to protect investor interests and maintain market stability.
Thank you for watching video. For further inquiries, contact us on the number given below.